Cancer. Let's see what came out for you. Lovers, Gemini, Mercury, and Wand Ace Fire. Interesting. So, wow, there is a spark with a soulmate energy here that is being ignited. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so Cancer, not what I was expecting, but very interesting. A very someone in particular, the sun is shining on a particular connection. You will see very clearly who this is, and it feels there's a very strong partnership here. You're being very much like magnetized to somebody, so there's a very strong attraction coming through, which is going to be very interesting. Now, we've also got Sword 8, Mercury, Gemini. So you've got Mercury, Gemini coming in twice. So this is where you might be having a lot of conversations. This person might be very chatty. It's a chatty energy, but with Mercury actually being in retrograde at this moment in time, it might actually be the opposite to that. It could actually be that there's a lot you want to say and it's happening. There's an internal dialogue going on within you around this. So interesting. And because there's a lot of communication going on around this. The lovers can represent a choice as well. It doesn't have to represent necessarily a soulmate energy, but it does represent that there's a very strong choice here, that you're getting a very big indication of go for that direction. Now, interestingly enough, we've got Sword 8, Mercury, Gemini, which does represent some kind of sense of limitations in the way that you're perhaps perceiving something. So maybe it's something to do with this direction and choice, or maybe you're just feeling really limited and frustrated at this moment, and it's kind of feels like you're kind of going to go for something that normally you might not think of doing just because of this frustrated energy that's coming in with the Sword 8. So interesting reading for you already, Cancer. And I was kind of expecting something unusual or interesting for you guys, because this reading is for January the 16th through to the 31st. And we have a beautiful, amazing and incredibly powerful full moon in your sign coming in on the 18th, give or take, a day, depending on where you are in the world. But this is going to be incredibly potent because it is in opposition to Pluto, the planet of sex, death, transformation, elimination. So it's a very deep energy. It's Lord of the underworld. So it's a deep Scorpio energy. So that matched with your beautiful watery energy in opposition to each other. It's kind of like, it's going to be very potent and potentially a very emotional time for you guys, or a highly intuitive time as well. So we're going to pull some more cards around that, just around this fortnight. But yeah, definitely you've been given a very clear choice here. I mean, yes, there's a choice, but it kind of feels like a bit of a no-brainer with these cards. You can see this card of Gemini is just kind of the lovers is pointing to one in particular, and the sun is shining, and with the Wand Ace Fire, which is an Aries energy, and Aries is exalted in the sun, it's saying very much trust that conscious conscious spark that's coming up here as to where you want to be going. Really trust that. So it's just an instinct. It happens really fast. It feels quite, it's just kind of running this vein of very, very quick ignition. So this could be definitely related to a relationship that ignites, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that, like we said. Sorry. Oh, look what we've got again. Okay, so definitely this lover's energy is having a big impact coming in for you, crossed by the Magician. Interesting. And the Magician is number 1 here. So, interesting. And then look what we've got here, the 8 of Swords. We're getting all the same cards. Wow. Okay. The King of Cups, this is the Scorpio energy. We were talking about that. Deep emotions are running here, but it doesn't feel like it. With the 8 of Swords, it feels like something is shallow emotionally, but at the base there's the need for a deep connection that's coming through. So it's interesting with Gemini, because Gemini can be very much the surface level communication of chatting, talking ideas, flirty. It can be very, that kind of energy. It's not sitting down and having a deep conversation with somebody, but we're seeing that here with this King of Cups, that this is what you're wanting. Here comes the sun again. So the sun's coming out super strong with you guys, which is really interesting. We can see the sun in the Lovers card. In the near future, yes, not sure of where you're going, the direction that you're going in. Yes, there is a choice here. We're seeing that. We're getting the message here, universe. There's a choice. The Three of Wands, so gone from the Two to the Three of Wands. So interesting. The Emperor, my goodness. Okay, in comes that strong Aries energy again. And the Judgment card. Wow. Okay. Interesting. And I'm just curious, I need to get another card out for you, the Four of Swords, to go with that. And at the base, the Ten of Wands. Whew. Okay, interesting one. There is potentially a relationship here that you are kind of, there's a big choice to be made around it. We've got, and this Lovers card, like I said, can represent any kind of choice that's in front of you, but there's a soulmate energy, but it is crossed by the Magician. And this might suggest for some of you that you're not sure whether you can trust this person or trust this feeling that's coming through. The Magician can be, it is actually a Gemini-ish kind of energy, and it can be someone that is a little bit liberal with the truth, let's just say. So there is a sense of, there's a lot of communication and information coming to you. You don't know whether you can trust that or not. And that can come in any form, whether it's through somebody else that you're looking at or just in general. So interesting. And it's hard because you're trying to make a very solid choice here. You are trying to make a very solid choice, but there is something here with this Eight of Swords that is limiting your ability to see clearly what that should be, even though it seems like there's actually a very clear choice here. I mean, the universe is giving you little pointers. Quite literally, there's a pointer saying this way, this way, this way, make this choice. But your conscious mind, so that could actually be your intuition is getting one very strong message coming through here, but your conscious mind is going, oh, I don't know if I can see how this would work. I don't know if I could see this as possible. So the Eight of Swords is feeling very limited, very stuck. It is the card of self-imposed limitations. You know, this character can very easily pull off these binds and free themselves. It's held around you so loosely. But it's a sense, perhaps it's a sense also that I don't want to see, because the sun is shining so brightly here. It's showing you something super clearly, and perhaps it's kind of like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. So this is what's happening in your conscious mind, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting here. So, at the base, we've got the King of Cups. This is what's happening deep down, something that's happening on a deep emotional subconscious level. So your conscious mind and your deep down level are at odds with each other, which is why we're seeing a sense that there is a sense of not being able to trust the information that's coming to you at this moment in time. And you can apply this to anything that you're grappling with in your life at this moment, but it does feel like it's something that is of a deep emotional energy. This is where the emotions run very, very deep. There could be some history here. This could be that this is related to a Scorpio in your life. Now, we were talking about the Scorpio energy related to Pluto. Pluto is Scorpio's ruler. So we're kind of seeing that there's this energy deep down that I do feel like it's kind of drawing you. I feel like this is about somebody or a relationship in particular that's in your life. And it could even be related to your father. Energy is kind of coming through here, but it's someone that is just there. They're there. They have a place within you, deep within you. And for whatever reason, there's things coming up about them at this moment in time. So interestingly, also with the King of Cups is that you can see there's a lot of emotional drama around this energy, but it's finding a safe place emotionally. And this is kind of what's happening deep down, is that perhaps this sense of wanting to retreat to that emotionally safe place is actually part of what's bringing in these limitations within your mind. It's like, oh, that's not possible. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go out there. It's not safe to go out. And this is where the Pluto energy is kind of pulling you out and going, you know, wanting to kind of it's an oppositional energy of going, we can't, it's sort of wanting to draw you out of that emotionally safe place, to say that there's something that it wants to transform and something it wants you to let go of. And it's kind of this Eight of Swords energy is like, no, I don't want to see it, don't want to know it. Just, I'm happy to come back in here. I'm in my little cave. So it may be that you might be wanting to stay at home. But it's kind of hard because it's right in your face here. There's the universe is going, ta-da, and you're like, no, don't want to see. So with the Sun card. So yeah, this could be potentially a very confusing time. It could be a time where you're feeling a bit vulnerable about something as well. But there does feel like there's this big push-pull between these two very major energies that we're talking about, the Moon and the Pluto energy that's coming in. And I think this is going to be reflected back to you in your life with either a relationship or a choice that you need to make here. So it's kind of very interesting. In the recent past, we've got the Sun. And we can see that the Sun is also shining over the Lovers. We can see the Sun here as well. So the Sun is really wanting to bring in some clarity around this choice. But again, it's been clouded. It's been clouded by... it's been clouded by your conscious mind. So in the recent past, the Sun could represent some kind of breakthrough. It could have represented some kind of breakthrough or happiness, but maybe you kind of it could have been around feeling really restricted or some sort of restrictions around you, or it occurred and you couldn't see it for whatever reason. So it's kind of interesting, this energy. It just feels like... So this is why I see in the near future, you've got the card of choice and the card of indecision and hesitation here with the Two of Swords. It's just too much, It's kind of like there's like this big other energy pulling you, this huge energy of transformation, change, intuition. Plus there's the conscious mind going, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's all too much. I'm just going to, again, you can see these are both the cards where the characters are blindfolded. So they're both cards of that this is some kind of self-imposed, like I don't want to see or I can't see kind of energy with the Two of Swords. And this can be where you're actually seeing both sides of the picture. You are actually seeing that, but it's a sense of, not really knowing exactly which is the right way to go with something. So I feel like you're up against some big energies here. Absolutely. Some big energies. And this could be like I said, related to a Scorpio in your life or somebody that has that Scorpio kind of energy where there's been an intense, deep connection. And this could be with yourself as well. It doesn't have to be with somebody else. But yeah, we've got the twos. So the twos are coming in, the Lovers, Gemini is very much, the twins. So there's this duality that's coming through. There's the two options or the two sides of something. And we can see here with the Two of Wands, this is you wanting to make a decision here. Maybe you've already decided to step into something, but are suddenly feeling like... yeah, it's kind of interesting suddenly maybe doubting that decision, or maybe you're hesitating or not sure about it. What's interesting about these two cards, if this is what's crowning you in your conscious mind, is look how shallow the water is there. There's a shallow connection. It's all inside your mind. It's all inside your thoughts. There's no depth to that connection emotionally or intuitively, but this is the opposite. And this is what's happening deep down. This is like a huge, there's the ocean of depth. So interesting, the Two of Wands would suggest a path has opened up and there is a choice to be made here. And, it's kind of very much the Two of Wands realizes in this particular card that to make that choice, perhaps it's about letting something go. And again, like the Pluto, the planet of elimination, leaving something behind or leaving an energy behind. So you're choosing something and not something else. So this actually is not a bad thing. This could be, two offers coming in and it's like, it's not necessarily bad. But yeah, the Three of Wands in the energy surrounding you. This is interesting because this is the young Emperor. There's so many synchronicities with this reading, Cancer, and I just feel like you're going to be feeling that and seeing that in your life at the moment because this is the young Emperor. He's put some things out there waiting for results to come back. Something feels like it's perhaps you are waiting for you've watched somebody leave, or you're waiting for somebody to return. So the Three of Wands is interesting. And then right above it, we actually have the Emperor, the hopes and fears. So it's kind of like something's at the stage in the energy surrounding you at the moment, which is kind of at this Three of Wands stage. It's an initial completion, or there's some sort of initial success that you're either waiting for or is coming in. These are the ships coming in, but it's like what you want is it to be here. It's not there at this moment in time, and the King, the Emperor, there's still work to be done. You're at the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and you're like, I want it to be the Emperor, or I want this person to be the Emperor. I want it to be where, I've got this vision of what I want this person to be, or where I want something to be, and it's not there quite yet. Whether this opportunity or this choice or this path that's opening can take you down that, there's some little bit of there's some messages saying that, yes, that potentially could happen. But the Emperor does represent success, concrete success with something. So, yeah, interesting. We have as the outcome, which is actually also completely fascinating, is the Judgment card and the Four of Swords. So the Judgment energy is an energy of second chance. There's potentially considering a second chance or a rebirth of some sort here, where you're clearing a lot of stuff, old stuff or stuff from the past, things that you thought, energies that you thought had passed or were dead and buried in the water. They're coming up to be revisited, and they're coming up from those emotional depths. So this is where people are returning, or emotions or memories are returning for you. And it's very much saying, how do you think that you've gone in your soul growth throughout this processing of these energies that are coming up from the depths that we thought were dead and buried, but they've come back up again for whatever reason, because they've come up for evaluation. They've come up to be decided whether you want to let them go and clear them out, or what you want to do with them. Absolutely. And the answers they're saying is actually the best way to do this is to take a break, take some time out. The answers are actually there inside your mind, inside your logical mind with that Four of Swords. The answers do lie there deep inside your mind, but it does require taking some time out. It could represent going deep within and looking at the stories that you've told yourself. Are they true? Is there a different version of that story? Can you rewrite the narrative? And so just, again, with the Gemini energy around you, the Gemini is the storyteller with so much Mercury. There's so much going on inside your mind. It's almost like you've been given a whole heap of plots at this moment in time, and you need to weave it into some sort of coherent story at this moment and truly understand what this story is. Who is the main protagonist? Who is the hero? What journey do they go on? What's the character arc? So it's kind of very interesting energy, and I feel like part of what this is the Judgment energy represents rebirth as well. So I think you may be deeply considering whether to give somebody a second chance here, or perhaps you are opening the door to give somebody a chance, but it's like you realized or a situation a chance. In order to do this, you know that you can't be carrying around some of that old energy with you. So yes, it's very interesting, and that's what the Pluto energy is doing, is saying, open the door, let me in, and I'll help you sort through some of that energy so that we can either eliminate it or transform it, because you want to open the door to this new energy that's knocking on the door here, coming in around this choice. So yeah, it's fascinating energy coming through for you, Cancer. And that's why we kind of got the 10 of Wands, that something has kind of become quite burdensome to you. It's drained your energy. The 10 of Wands can be, definitely with the 10 of Wands and the 4 of Swords, I would say don't put too much on your plate at this time. Really, there's something bigger that you're kind of grappling with, or making a bigger decision about the direction that you're going with something here. And so that will be taking a lot of your energy and priorities. You don't want to be doing too much else at this moment in time. And also it's saying take a break, let go of something, say no to something if something is taking too much of your energy here. And that's why we're saying some of these energies that are you want to travel a little bit lighter into this new direction that's coming in here, or what you want to choose to do here. And so some of these heavier energies are wanting to be released and let go of. So it is a matter of trusting. It is a matter of trusting, because the energy of Pluto is coming into wanting to transform something. It can feel like this wall of power coming at you. And so your initial response is to kind of shut off from it and go, oh, that's too intense and heavy. But if you kind of trust it and open that door and go, you know what, I trust you. I trust this process that you're taking me through. Then you can work together on what this is. So it's, I think there's a sense of something deep inside your heart. It could potentially be, deeply transformed here. So very, very lovely energy to come through. I mean, lovely, it is deep and intense. So yes, you might be feeling very vulnerable and sensitive. I would say be gentle with yourself. Make sure you're in a space where you can feel nurtured, do some nice things for yourself. Throughout this time, it says, life supports me. Life created me to be fulfilled. I trust life, and life is always there at every turn. I am safe. Okay, interesting. And that's very interesting. And I think it's purely the power of Pluto, the fact that it does really ask you to look at some things that you'd prefer to keep buried deep inside, that it doesn't feel safe and it can invoke fear. But ultimately, it's actually it has good intentions. So we've also got, I am open and receptive to new avenues of income. I now receive my good from expected and unexpected sources. I am an unlimited being accepting from an unlimited source in an unlimited way. I am blessed beyond my fondest dreams. Wow. Okay, so that would suggest that, some of this energy here, this fire energy here, we've got the 1, the 2, the 3, and the Emperor, would suggest there's energy of success around as well. So how are you going to manage that? Yeah, there's a lot coming to you. Let's pull a charm to finish this one off, Cancer. We have got the Owl. So trust that inner wisdom of yours. Trust that you can look at something straight on as well and see through the darkness, see through the subconscious or the shadow sides that you may be encountering, and that you'll be fine. You trust that inner wisdom. So yeah, beautiful. I love the Owl came out for you. So yeah, that's a fantastic energy to come through, Cancer. And yeah, I'm going to leave it here. We're going to take it over to the extended reading now and see where this is going. What's happening with this rebirth and this second chance? What's happening in the near future and the future beyond? And we're also going to look at career, money, love and relationships, focus in on those 3 areas, see if we can get something a little bit, because this feels very deep and intuitive. We might get something a little bit more grounded, perhaps, with that part of it. And that's all in, and any other intuitive messages that you need to hear. So that's all in the extended reading. Would love it if you come over, Cancer. The link is in the description box below. And I don't even know if I mentioned the extended at the start, but we just kind of went straight into it. And also, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, because that lets YouTube know that you're supporting the channel and helps with the growth of the channel. So please take care, Cancer. And just a quick reminder, if you wanted to go deeper into 2022, the 2022 yearly forecasts are out, and the link for that will also be in the description box below. So take care, Cancer, and look forward to seeing you next time.